I hear you fine.
All right.
All right, so we're live now. So let me just check the. Give me 1 second just to check to make sure we're broadcasting. Okay. All right. What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen, one of the oracles of cryptocurrency here at our channel, cryptocurrency.market. And in this video, guys, we have a special guest here. His name is Shaka Daniel. He's from the YouTube, a new YouTube channel that's pretty interesting on YouTube. It's called Chase That Coin. I invite you guys to check it out and subscribe to his channel as well, because he has a different perspective on investing in cryptocurrencies. If you guys look in the chat box, I'll put a link to his channel in the chat, and you guys can check it out. All right. So you guys know me. If I see somebody with a interesting channel, I always like to support them and get them going, because that's one of the things that's tough on YouTube, is that if you're a new YouTuber, YouTube doesn't treat you the same like the Steem platform does, like we're talking about. So you know, people know me as the Oracle cryptocurrency from Texas. Me and my buddy LeonFood.com. But Shaka might be the Oracle cryptocurrency from New York.
I'll take that. I'll take that one.
You know, the reason why I say that is because he sent me a private message the other day to look at one of the coins, and it shot up, and before I got to it, you know, it already shot up, so I couldn't get into it. It was already too late to get into it then. Okay, so in this video, guys, we want to talk about the new Steem platform and the difference between the Steem tokens and the Steem Power and the Steem dollars. Okay, so there's questions that I'm getting. There's a lot of questions that Shaka is getting from his audience as well about what's the difference between these three different cryptos, or these three different tokens. Okay, because most of the other cryptocurrency that we talk about, there's only one token that's being traded. And in this one, there's like 3 of them, and a lot of people are asking questions about it, so we want to answer it for you guys in this video. But before I explain to you guys what the difference between the Steem tokens and the Steem Power and the Steem dollars are, I want to explain to you guys how a business gets started, a company gets started, in America or any country. Okay, and this is very relevant in Shaka's backyard, because he's from the New York area, from the Wall Street area. So you guys know that that's where a lot of companies and businesses are born, okay, in America and in the world, okay? That's like the heart of finances there. So the way that when a company, a business gets started, right? So if you guys, we're gonna take an example here. Let's just say that if Shaka and I was to start a business in America or anywhere in the world, right? We would, there's several ways that we can raise money. We can raise money, and I'm talking about a traditional company, guys. I'm not talking about how these cryptocurrencies raise money, but like traditionally how a company or a business raises money, okay? So if somebody has a good idea, let's say Shaka and I have a good idea to start a business, right? There's several ways that we can get money. We can either use the money that we currently have to build the business, or let's say that we don't have enough money. We're just guys that, you know, from we don't come from rich families. We don't have any bankers for our dads and stuff. And we decided we have a great idea and we want to build this product or this service. We can use our own money, but if we don't have any money, we can go out and borrow money. Okay. Now there's several ways that we can borrow money. We can borrow money from the bank, or we can borrow money from the people on Wall Street, the banking institutions on Wall Street, like, you know, Goldman Sachs or any of those places like that. Now, there are several conditions. There's several types of money that you can borrow from people to start your business. The first one is what's called a bond and the second one is called a stock. Okay, so whenever the difference between those two types of borrowing is that when you borrow a bond from someone, what it does is that it gives you they get first priority to be paid back, and they get a certain guaranteed percentage of interest. Okay, the second type is the stock, and what they do is they own a portion of your company. Okay, so we might say, like, we are willing to give up, let's say that Shaka and I are willing to give up 40% of our company that we're starting, and we'll sell it to the public, and whoever wants to loan us the money, they can buy shares of it, and that's called stock or equity in the company. Now, we are not obligated to pay interest or anything to the shareholders because they are taking the risk with us. We build the business, and if it succeeds, the value of each share will increase, and in doing so, they can cash out those stocks, and that's how they get profit. Okay, so let's just say that I'm just going to use a simple dollar amount so that the math is easy. So let's just say that we start the business and we create 100 shares, and Shaka and I own 60 shares of it, and we sell the other 40 shares to the public. And if you are willing to buy each one of those shares, then at that point, each one of those shares is worth $1. Okay, so after we sell those 40 shares, we raise $40. Okay, now I use the simple numbers in simple math, guys, so you guys can understand. But on Wall Street, that $40 would in reality be $40 million or $400 or $4 billion. I'm just doing it with very small numbers just so the math is easy. Now, let's just say that after we borrow that $40 and Shaka and I build our business, and now it's worth $1,000. So it's worth 10 times what it was before we borrowed the money. Because of that extra $40, we have enough capital to buy more products and services and get more customers, and our company now grows to be worth, instead of being worth $100, now it's worth $1,000. Well, that 40% of the shares that was originally worth $40 is now worth $400. So if you bought one share back then and it was worth $1, now it's worth $4, and you can sell it and you make a $3 profit. So the people who put money into those shares, okay, they're the ones, they make money by the increase in value of each share, and that's how they make money. But now let's just say that we borrow that $40 and we don't do a very good job of running the business, and instead of being worth $100, now the business is now only worth $10. So now you lose all that value. So now each share that was originally worth $1, it's now worth 40 cents. Okay, so you lost money on it. So that's the risk that you take by loaning us the money to build the business. Okay, so that's how a stock works. Now, on the other hand, when you look at a bond is different. So instead of giving somebody shares of our company, right, and we say, you know what, we want complete control of our business. We don't want somebody else to have voting power and the shares. And they also get a percentage of the profits too. The people that own the stocks, they have voting rights. They can vote on what we do because they have 40% of the vote. And if we make profits, they also get 40% of the profits. Okay, so there's different ways you can structure the shares of a company so that you can get a portion of the profits, voting rights and all kinds of stuff. Now, a bond is completely different. A bond is where Shaka and I would say, hey, you know what, we need to borrow that $40, and we agree to pay 5%, or let's just say 10%, so the math is easy. We agree to pay 10% on that $40. Okay, so $40, 10% would be $4. So at the end of this amount of time, let's just say we agree that after 2 years, we are going to pay all the bondholders a 10% interest rate. And if they agree on it, then we get to borrow the money. And then as long as Shaka and I pay back that 10%, the bondholders do not care. They hope that we make money, but even if we lose money on the business, we still have to pay back that 10% interest and the original principal of the money. Now, the reason why I'm sharing that with you guys is that when you look at the Steem platform, right, they are doing a lot of things that are very similar to how a company or a business would get started in America. Okay, they are not taking the approach of raising money through an ICO or anything like that. They are building the Steem platform similar to how Wall Street or anybody else would build a company or a business in America, and that is by issuing bonds and issuing stocks. Okay, now I explain that to you guys so that you guys understand that, okay? What the difference between bonds and stocks are. I also forgot to mention that the downside to having the bond, okay, is that if the company goes up in value 10 times, the bond, we are only obligated to pay a 10% to the bondholders, okay? So the bondholders get a guaranteed return, but they do not get to profit from the increase in value of the company, okay? Whereas the shareholders do not get a guaranteed return, but they get to benefit from the increase in value of the company. So what happens is with Steemit, the Steem tokens and the Steem dollars are very similar to the stocks and the bonds. The Steem is similar to the stocks, and the Steem dollars is similar to the bonds. Okay, so once you get into the Steem dollars, that's like buying a bond in the Steemit platform, and then buying the Steem tokens is like buying equity or stocks of the Steemit platform. Okay, so this is the reason why there's a lot of confusion. If the Steemit platform right now, they have about over 40,000 users. If they get to 1 million users and they increase the value of their Steem, their business of the Steem network, then you get to benefit from the increase in value of the Steem tokens that you are currently holding. Okay, now if you hey, can you leave that there? I'll just do it after we leave. Yeah. I'll do it after when you leave. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, just that way it doesn't record into the video.
Oh,
okay.
Recording the video?
No, I'm just here talking to the wall.
I thought it was live.
It is, so it's being recorded into it. So sorry about that, guys. You know, I have an Indian driver. He just came from Mumbai, so he doesn't know about how technology works in America. So unfortunately, most Indians that I know, they're all IT experts except for the one that I have. Okay, so he doesn't understand that making noise in the background. Okay, anyway, guys, let me get back to the Steem dollars and Steem tokens, okay? So if you invest your money into the Steem tokens, then you are basically buying shares in hopes that the Steem network increases in value, and you will profit from it going up in value. Now, if you invest into it and the Steem network and the Steem platform goes down in value, then obviously you lose money on that. Now, if you invest in the Steem dollars, that there's a interest rate on it. There's an inflation on it that I'll go into in a separate video. Okay, so that's the basics or the gist of what the difference between those two are. So one is that you get I wouldn't say guaranteed, but you get a certain percentage interest on it by investing into it. And once you put it into the Steem Power, right, you convert your Steem tokens into Steem Power. What it does is it locks it up for a 2-year period. And a lot of people are complaining, or at least, well, they're not complaining, but they're not sure why it needs to be locked up for 2 years, okay? Well, once you take the Steem tokens and you convert it to Steem Power, that is like converting it into kind of like a bond, because when you invest into a bond of any company, you have to lock it in for 6 months or 12 months or 2 years, okay? So that's the same way. And then they pay it out slowly. The reason why the developers of the Steemit network is locking it up, making everybody lock it up for 2 years, is not because it's a Ponzi scheme, okay? It's because they're making people lock it up so that it reduces the volatility. So every time a new cryptocurrency comes out, one of the biggest challenges that all the developers are facing is the volatility drives people away. It brings in the traders who want to, like myself and like Shaka, who want to make money off of the volatility. So we want that, but for the long-term investors and the people who are looking at using the platform, they get scared away when they see all that volatility, okay? Because they're not used to it. So because of that, there's a 2-year period, there's a buffer there to slow down people that if you are serious about investing into the Steemit platform, they want you to make a commitment to it so that they have time to develop the platform and the software. But if you are just a short-term buy and sell and just want to make short-term profits, then you want to obviously invest in the Steem tokens and not put it into the Steem Power, because that's going to lock it up for a couple of years. So anything you want to add to that, Shaka?
Yeah, to let the audience know, exactly kind of what's going on. The only reason Steem has, the reason Steem created such a momentum is because of the use cases. You can upvote people and you can get paid for your articles and things like that. And the way that they set up the three currencies is another reason that it's held its value, because we all see currencies shoot up 1,000% and then crash back down, and then they stay back where they were at. So the way that the Steem dollar, Steem power, and Steem currency is set up, it's actually helping it maintain its value. So that's a good thing in that sense.
Yeah, and one of the audience members, Jurgis G, I hope I'm saying that right. Jurgis G, he mentions that the difference is that bonds, there's an earned insurance on your investment. And in America, I don't know about European countries and Australian or Canadian countries, but I know that living in the U.S., right, there is they have different insurance policies that's on it, but it's not guaranteed. I mean, they say that they do, but there's no guarantee about that. Okay, nothing is guaranteed on Wall Street. Even if they say that there's FDIC or SIPC insurance, it's not a guarantee. Okay, now with the Steem power, you have 2 years, and obviously nothing is guaranteed in crypto. So if you are investing in cryptocurrencies or any type of cryptocurrency, whether it's Steem or Bitcoin or NXT or Ethereum fork or Ethereum Classic or anything, right? There is no guarantee. So if anybody tells you that there's a guarantee on profits or a guarantee on risk or anything like that, they're not being 100% truthful with you. Okay, so there is no guarantees. But what the Steem developers are doing is that they're trying to create a network where you actually are vested. And vested means that you are contributing. You are a serious investor in the platform and not somebody that's just a fly-by-night. So that's why they have that 2-year period. Like you guys, many of you guys know, if you have not already, our channel is the Steem It. I'll put a link to it here. It's steemit.com/@crypto-market. Okay, and let me see here. I'll put it in the links here, guys, so you guys can see it right there. And if you guys look under the wallet, you'll see that we put like 6 Bitcoins into the Steem power. And the reason why we do that is because the Steem power, oh, by the way, if you can post a link of your Steem account to Shaka, that would be helpful for the audience also.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that when I get a chance to.
Yeah. So whenever, or if you send it to me in the comments section of Google Hangout, I'll post it in the YouTube chat box for everyone.
All right.
So the reason why we put those 6 Bitcoins into the Steem and convert it to Steem power, and when I say we, it's me and my buddy leonfu.com. So he and I own this channel together. So we put to do some testing, we put some 6 Bitcoins in there and convert to Steem power to see what will happen. Okay, and the reason why we did that is because the Steem power is also kind of like a credit rating. Okay, so the most valuable thing, the biggest game changer that Steem brings to the internet, guys, is it's the first time in internet history where the content creators are being paid directly for their content, and it's not going through a middleman. So in the past, the way that content creators are paid, like right now, the way that Shaka and I get paid for our YouTube videos is that every time we create some quality content, it attracts viewers, and then when the viewers watch it, then Google will put YouTube ads in front of our videos, and if you click on it and you go and every time you click on that video to go see what the advertisers are advertising, then we get like a penny for every 1,000 clicks or 1,000 views or something. It's very negligible, guys. It's barely enough to pay for the hosting of our website. Okay, so don't think that we're gonna quit our jobs and businesses and retire off of these YouTube videos. Okay, so we make it because it's fun and we enjoy sharing it with other people how to invest in cryptocurrency so they don't get scammed or get ripped off. Okay, so this is the first time in internet history where the network, the Steem network, pays directly to several types of people: the content creators like myself and like Shaka and like leonfood.com. And then it also pays, there are people out there that, they're not good at creating content like we are. So what they do is, but they know how to view the content and determine and filter out what is good and what is bad, right? So those people are called the curators. And they curate the content, which means that they are able to classify the content and determine what is good and what is bad content in that specific field, topic, or niche. And so because of that, those curators are being compensated by the Steemit network, and they're being paid by the Steemit network to curate the content and make sure that it's quality content. So several different ways for people to get paid. So because of that, we loaded up our account with some Bitcoins, some Steem power, right? So that we have the ability to upvote other people and pay them for producing quality content. Now, obviously, we only put 6 Bitcoins in there, so we don't have the ability, the credibility, or the ranking, or the gravity, or the importance level as somebody that put 100 Bitcoins in, or like one of the original founders or the whales, okay? So that's the reason why we did that. Do you have anything to add to about the Steem power, Shaka? I don't know if you're talking or not, but we cannot hear you. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear anything.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you covered a good amount of it. You covered a good amount of it.
Okay, so let's see if we have anybody that has questions about the any of this, the Steem dollars or the Steem power. And in a separate video, guys, we'll talk about the inflation and the interest rates for those Steem dollars and the Steem power in a separate video, guys.
Do you want to talk about the pegging of the importance of the peg, or do you think the peg is going to last? And if it doesn't last, do you think it will hurt Steem?
I'm still researching about it right now, Leon and I. So if you know more about it, you're welcome to.
No, I'll do the same, and then we can come back to that, because I think that's something that people will want to get into a little bit.
Yeah. So let's take the questions from the audience here, guys. If you guys put a question in, it would help if you guys put what country or what city you're from into. So that will help me and Shaka get an idea where our audience is at. So this one is from Innocent Azuluha. Hello, Taizen. Thanks for the video. Just want to ask a question. I observed that my Steem power is growing every day. However, the estimated value in US initially was growing too, but now reducing. And the reason why your Steem power is growing is because you must be making some good upvotes on other people's content, or you are good creating quality content and being rewarded by it by other people who are upvoting your content. The reason why the estimated value is going down is because lately the price of the Steem tokens has been going down. So that's good. And the US dollar amount that's listed on there, it takes an average of the last 7 days price, and then it averages it out, and it just gives you an estimate of what the US dollar worth is.
Real quickly, guys, you get on the Steem platform, you get rewarded for your good decisions. So if you upvote good content and other people also agree that it's good content, you get rewarded for that. If you downvote bad content and other people agree with you that it's bad content and downvote it, and you're one of the first to do this, you get rewarded for that. So you get rewarded for your participation in the platform itself.
Yeah. So whatchamacallit here, he says, Jurgen Hobarth, he asked, there was Redcoin before, which wanted to go in that direction. How is Steemit.com is different? I'll give you my answer, and then Shaka can share his answer. My answer is I never heard of Redcoin, okay? At any given time, guys, I only have enough energy, time, and effort to research about half a dozen cryptocurrencies. So I'm not going to know every cryptocurrency out there, and I'm sure that Shaka doesn't have time to research all the cryptocurrencies either. What we try to do is focus on the ones that have real world potential, okay? So I do not know about Redcoin, so I cannot make a statement about it. I do know this. I mentioned in my previous videos that there are different buckets of cryptocurrency, right? So on one hand, you got the distributed, you got the smart contract bucket that contains Ethereum Fork, Ethereum Classic, Expanse, things like that. And then you got another bucket over here of social media cryptocurrency projects, such as the Akasha project, such as Scenario, and such as the Steem It. Okay, so that's in this bucket over here, this crypto bucket. Now, I have not heard of the red coin bucket. Okay, so I've heard of Scenario, I've heard of Akasha, and I've heard of Steem It. And out of all the social media cryptocurrency projects, the Steem It is the first one to produce software that actually works and people can use it. And that's the reason why they are getting about over 700 users a day, okay, registered. So because of that, that's the one that myself, leonfu.com, and many other cryptocurrency investors are focusing on, because even though we know that there are several different cryptocurrencies, social media, cryptocurrency projects in this social media bucket, the first one we've seen that actually works and people can register and do something with it is Steem It. So what's your input on that? Do you know anything about Redcoin and what the difference is with Steem It?
I have heard of Redcoin. I looked into it briefly. The reasons I think Steem It is gonna succeed and Redcoin didn't was, one, the way it was, the promotion of it. Steem It also has a little bit of boost in credibility because they have one of the developers from BitShares, so that also helps. And like you said, they have a platform that, because there's about 700 different coins, a lot of them, they all claim to do different things. Only a handful of them have a test net that can actually do something, you know, and even a smaller handful of them actually have something that a wallet or things that you can even do anything with it. So Steem It came out and they gave average people that didn't know anything about crypto a space where they can come and write and post things and get paid in cryptocurrency and take their education of cryptocurrency from there. Like, they didn't start from anything else. They started from, okay, I can get paid for this, and then I'll find out what the whole Steem thing is about. So Steem is well promoted, and the BitShares credibility helps them a lot.
Yeah, so I agree with you on that last part about the association between Dan. He was the former developer for the BitShares cryptocurrency network, and he's taking his experiences from over there and the mistakes that he made, and he's doing a better job on the Steem It. If it was somebody that was new out of nowhere that came up with the Steem It cryptocurrency network, then I would be very nervous and I would be very worried about it. But because Dan is a recognized individual, and when I say recognized, I'm not saying that he won, Olympic awards or gold medals or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that he is somebody that has been known in the BitShares community for a long time. He's not somebody that's new. Just like when we talk about Sasha from the Waves platform, he is not new. He is somebody that has been known in the NXT community. When we talk about Max Kordek from Europe that did the Lisk, the CEO of Lisk, he is not new. He is somebody that has been known in the crypto community, and before that in the NXT community. And he and I used to work together to start the NXT Foundation. So whenever we look at these people that start these new projects, one of the things that we want to look at is, what is their track record? What is their history? Have they been on other projects, right? So it's hard for me to believe that somebody like Dan, who has been spending all these years trying to build the BitShares network, it didn't work out the way he wanted, and now he's starting this new project to build it. And you guys got to realize, guys, if you guys ever read the book called The E-Myth, right? It's by Michael Gerber. It's like a landmark business book that talks about how businesses are built and what makes them succeed in everything, and how the step-by-step process that businesses are built. One of the things he talks about is that 90% of the business that people build will fail. Only 10% will succeed and do really well. So I am not surprised when people like Sasha from the Waves platform, he tried to build coin on that. It didn't work. He did the projects, and now he's working on the Waves project. And let's hope that works so that we can all profit from that. Same thing with Max Kordek. He built, he tried to work on the NXT project, the Crypty project. It didn't work. So, and then we come now to Dan Larimer, who worked on the BitShares project. Who else knows what he worked on before he came to the Steemit? So in my opinion, when I invest into it, I have a lot of confidence in it, simply because these guys have shown that they've made mistakes and they've learned from it, and now they're going to take what they've learned from those other platforms and now work on the Steemit platform. So that's my thoughts on it, because I know a lot of people out there are saying that, you know, the Steemit platform is a Ponzi scheme or however, you know, but that's just how businesses are built, guys. And the cryptocurrency projects are no different. They are a business that needs to be built and get adoption from consumers. So that's my thought.
Yeah, I agree with the fact that if a developer has come from a different project, and whether that project has failed or not, just him even being there and getting that experience and coming on to another project, especially with these big projects. So like Coinomat was the first basically shapeshift, and Max coming from NXT, and these aren't like bottom 200 cryptocurrencies. These are big projects, and them even being involved in them and coming to their own coin, in my opinion, definitely is going to increase the chances of success. Of course, it's not guaranteed because this is cryptocurrency. No cryptocurrency is guaranteed to succeed. But I think that in the altcoin world, for them even having that experience definitely boosts their chance of success.
Yeah. So the next question is from Ken in Bangkok, Thailand. That's where my wife is from. She's from Thailand. He asked, are there limitations? What happens if the whales power down in unison? Okay, so in case you guys are new to cryptocurrency, a whale is somebody that owns a lot of that cryptocurrency. Okay, so the question is, what happens if the whales power down? So powering down means that they decide to cash out their bonds. Okay, they decide to cash out their Steem power and convert it back to Steem tokens, so that they can take that and convert it to Bitcoins and then convert it back to a fiat currency. So that process is called powering down. Okay, so if you convert your Steem tokens into Steem power, that's called powering up. So the opposite is powering down. Now, when you power up, it's instant. You can convert your Steem tokens to Steem power immediately. However, when it's time to convert your Steem power back into Steem tokens, it's not immediately. It is done in a 2-year span, and that is done over 104 segments, and that's what's called a vesting period. That means you are invested with the Steemit community and the network for a minimum of 2 years. So if I were to power down the 6 Bitcoins that I put into the Steemit network, right? If I was to power down, it would take 104 segments or 104 units of distributions before I get all my Bitcoins back. Okay, all my Steem tokens back to convert into Bitcoin. So like I said before, the reason why they're doing that is to reduce volatility in the price of the Steem tokens, and to make sure that you are serious about investing into it. If you're not, then just keep it in the form of Steem tokens. That way you can cash it out anytime. But if you're serious about it, then you convert it into Steem power.
I think that like you said, the 2-year period, because everybody has to do that to power down their power, their account or whatever. That, along with the whole fact that Steem is still in a beta, like we have to remember that this is still a beta that we're all participating in. And in my opinion, Steemit is going to get better when the full launch comes, and they could also add other platforms and use the same Steem power type of thing. Right now, this is more for blogs and stuff. They could also add a Facebook type of version. Like I think that it's gonna just get better. We're in a beta, and that's gonna incentivize people to hold on to their Steem dollars and Steem power for even longer than the 2-year period, and start another 2-year period. So this is just the beginning to me.
And the people are talking about their word because the whales, the people are holding a lot of Steem tokens. They're powering down, and I see no problem with that, guys. There's something that's a common issue in the cryptocurrency world. People are always upset or jealous or envious because the developers or the founders of the coin are cashing out some of their coins. Keep this in mind, guys. If you want this project to succeed, these guys have to pay their bills. They have to pay their monthly expenses, their food, their rent, and everything. They have to get that money from somewhere. And the reason why they have it set aside so that a portion of the Steem tokens go to the original founders, I mean, that's going to happen with any business, guys. If Shaka and I start a business today, we are going to take a portion of, if we create 100 shares of stock to sell to the public, you can bet that Shaka and I are going to keep a large portion of that so that we maintain control of the business that we created. We're not going to give that up to somebody else. So that's common. And we also need to cash out some of those stocks so that we can pay our bills while we are working on the project. So when you guys see somebody like Sasha from the Waves platform, or you guys see Max from the List platform, when they cash out some of the initial ICO tokens that they have, right? Or if you guys see Dan or Ned, the founders of the Steem network, if you guys see them cashing out, it's not a sign that they're quitting the project, guys. I mean, just put yourself in their shoes. If you have this many tokens and you're gaining 300 users a day, I mean, pretty soon, I mean, you have a strong possibility that you are going to compete with networks like Twitter, like LinkedIn, like Facebook, MySpace, you know, things like that. Why in the world would you destroy your own baby that you created? You know, I mean, these guys have so much more. I mean, they can become the next Mark Zuckerberg or the next Bill Gates or the next Michael Dell if they get this working the way that it's supposed to work. So it's not, I don't see why, I mean, I can only speak for myself. I cannot speak for other people. But if I was in Dan or Ned's position where I'm gaining, you know, 700 plus new users every day, I am not going to crash the system and abandon the system, okay? Because I have more incentive to make it work because it can become a multi-billion-dollar network. And when that happens, I'll be stupid, stinking rich, okay? And, you know, most of these guys are doing this. They're looking for the long term. You know, they're not looking at the short term just to make a fast buck and get out, guys. What's your thoughts, Shaka?
I think that you have to if you're still asking questions like that, you have to look a little bit deeper into in the investment process. These guys have to tap into some of the funds because, like you said, if they're getting 700 users today, the smart business owner is going to be thinking about preparing for 1,400 users, not just focusing on, okay, I got 700 users and I'm happy now. You know, you want to grow this thing to the level of a Facebook or any big social media platform, and they have the chance to do that with the cryptocurrency community. So they have to tap into some of these funds and to pay for further development and to give you the best full launch. Like I said, we're still in beta. If you want it to be successful and better than it is, because I hear a lot of people say it's kind of rough around the edges, and it kind of is in the beta stage. But if you want it to be the best that it can be in the full launch, then they have to tap into the funds and use some of the funds that they have access to.
Yeah. So, like, for example, I don't know what their burn rate is each month. The burn rate is how much money they need to spend each month to develop the project. If you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but like we have my buddy LeonFood.com. When he works, he's one of the best in the world at building iPhone apps for in the iOS arena, right? So those apps that you guys see on your iPhones, he builds them, and guess how much they pay him? They pay him, you know, a very, very high six-figure income to build those apps. So if you have a team of developers like him building your Waves project or your List project or your Steem project, you can expect those guys to cost over $100,000 a year, and that's not cheap. So when we talk about the burn rate, right? If you had to pay $10,000 a month to the programmers to program your software, and you hire 2 programmers, your burn rate is going to be about $20,000 a month. When I spoke in one of the interviews with Sasha from the Waves platform, he was suggesting that his estimated burn rate was going to be about $50,000 a month just to pay for all the developers to work on the Waves platform. So whenever you guys see these people cashing out, right, to me it's actually a good thing because they're actually using it to pay for the development. Now, if they cash out and use it to go party and and spend it on strippers and stuff, then that's when you would be worried. But if they're using it to pay for developers to work on it and they're constantly updating their software, then that's actually a good thing. Okay, so don't let that scare you off. Okay, I mean, I just read a recent tweet by about Max Kordek from the List platform, and they're talking about he's moving and setting up office in Germany, in Berlin or something like that. So that's going to cost money. So where's that money going to come from? It's going to come from the $7 or $8 million that they raised during the ICO. That's where it's going to come from, right? So you're going to have to cash that out in order to pay for the offices and the developers. Okay. Next question is Jurgis G from Toronto, Canada. He says, what is the inflation rate and how long will this continue? The inflation rate is between, I forget, but there was one number of 10%, the other number was 90%. And we have to do more research into that before we can talk about that so that we are accurate on what we're saying. But how long will this continue? It'll continue forever, I think. Last time when I checked it, okay? So Tack Farrell says that he's a newbie, so forgive him. There's nothing to forgive. We're all newbies here, okay? This is the reason why, whenever you guys hear me talking about making a 4,000% profit on Ethereum and things like that, guys, this is the price. The profit potential is there because we are willing to take the risk that other people are not willing to take. Okay, once the cryptocurrency is stable, and let's say for Ethereum right now, right, it's already gone past the danger point, right? Now to it, the likelihood that you are going to make 4,000% profit from it is very slim. Okay, you can still make 2, 3, 4, 500% profit, but I'm not looking at thousands of percent profit like it was when we first started. Okay, so okay, Jurgen Hobarth, he says, I think it's the same like BTC, ETH. I'm not sure what that means, but okay, let me see if there's any other questions before we wrap it up. What do you think of the Takara app? We don't know what that is. Steem is the first. Do you know what that is?
No, I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, so Steem is like the first time where crypto is easy for average people without any wallet app or complicated way to get started. That is true. That is 1,000% true. Out of all the software and projects that's available on the cryptocurrency market right now, guys, the only project that allows a complete beginner to be able to access the cryptocurrency market without spending any money or lots of time is the Steem platform, guys. Okay, you agree with that or disagree with that, Shaka?
I agree with that 100%. That's one of the main reasons for the.
Hey, can you turn your video off and turn it back on, because all it shows is the image. It doesn't show you. Okay, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons for their for the big price swing. Once bloggers and people who were putting out blogs on other sites, once they found out about it, and people continue to find out about it, and people who aren't even bloggers and now they're aspiring bloggers and they didn't know anything about Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any kind of cryptocurrency, and they're probably still not sure about Steem, but they like the platform because it gives them an opportunity to get paid for their time and effort.
Hey, Gurgis G from Toronto, Canada, he asked about, there's nothing on their Steem website about the Steem tokens and its inflation rate. You got to read their white paper, man. You got to read their white paper because that explains everything that they're doing, okay? So, and that's the same for any cryptocurrency. If you have a question about how their process works or how the technical details about it, you always read their white paper and it'll explain it. Okay, so Taforok says that one crypto guru that he heard said that Steem does not even need the blockchain in order to work. Not sure what he's saying. Any thoughts from the Sleepy in Bangkok? Okay, so the person the crypto guru that he's referring to, I think is his name is Tone Vey, who's also in your backyard out of New York. Don't know if you know him personally, but he's somebody
I don't know him personally, but I do. I've seen a lot of interviews with him. He's definitely, I like to watch him. He's a funny guy.
Yeah. I like watching him also because he gives the opposite view of what Leon Fu and I have. You know, so it's always good to have the bad side and the good side review so that you can make your decisions on your investment. You know, so the when he said that it doesn't need a blockchain, I disagree with that because it needs the blockchain. One of the ways to make it so that it's censorship proof is so that when you post something, it's recorded onto the blockchain. And without it, then it's not a censorship-proof social network. It'll be just like another Reddit, and then there's no reason for it to have Steem it. The other reason why you need the cryptocurrency blockchain that's powering the Steem it network is that the money that's created, it has to be created from somewhere. Okay, and this is the reason why a lot of people think it's a Ponzi scheme because they don't understand how the cryptocurrency blockchain works. Okay, if you look at something like Bitcoin, right? Where is the money coming from? Where is it being created? And it's being created out of thin air from people that are securing the network, okay? The people who are securing the network to make sure it doesn't get hacked are the money is created out of thin air, just like the Federal Reserve, anybody creates it. But the difference here is that everybody agrees that it's okay. Whereas with the Federal Reserve, whenever they, or the central banks, when they create money out of thin air, not everyone agrees with it. Okay, so in the Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency, the money is created out of thin air, and it's created out of thin air, and it creates value. Okay, so because of that, okay, it allows us to see that. Okay, so it's no different. Without the cryptocurrency blockchain underneath the Steem it platform, then there's going to be no Steem it tokens and no money created. So you need that in order to create it.
The main reason I think that the blockchain is needed for Steem would be for the trustlessness of the whole Steem power. When you're locking away the Steem power, it's locking it away into the blockchain. Without the blockchain, then you're just trusting people's words, and no matter what cryptocurrency you're into, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, top 50, bottom 600, we're all in it for the whole blockchain trustless aspect. So without that, the Steem power and situation doesn't really work.
Here's one of the policies that I have about doing these live events, you know, these live Google Hangouts, guys, is that there's one thing I don't like about doing it is that there are people that troll the comments as we are doing the Hangout. So that's one of the reasons why I don't do too many of them, guys. But lately, you know, it's the fastest way for me to get content and information about the cryptocurrencies up onto the internet is by you doing these Hangouts. Now, I can do it privately, but I prefer to do it with an audience so that, you know, I can answer questions for you guys as I'm going along. But one of the things I ask, guys, is keep your questions related to the topic. The topic of this video is what is the difference between Steem Power, and Steem dollars. We're not here to talk about Pokemon Go. So I don't want to be rude or be a jackass, but if you guys ask me about something that's unrelated to the topic of this video title, then I'm just going to ignore the question and go on to the next one. So I don't want you guys to think that myself or Shaka is being rude, but we want to spend this time to just focus on that particular aspect, and that's it. Can I, Taka for all, ask, can I and should I put up Steem it, a book on travel that I have just completed? Well, that's up to you. We can't make a decision on what content you produce, right? I don't know if you're concerned about the copyright on it or whatever, you know, but for me, the content that I produce, I don't care where it goes, okay? If I'm gonna put it on Steem it simply because I can make money off the content that I was gonna put on YouTube anyway. So that doesn't matter to me. So that's a personal question right there.
Yeah, I see. When I look at Steem, because I thought it would be like one specific type of category would be more popular. Maybe crypto would be the most popular, and everybody would make their money off of crypto blogs or whatever. But as you go into any category, and you'll see a lot of high upvoted content in different categories. So if you feel like your book is on travel is good and people are gonna upvote it, then you know, do your thing.
Okay, so this will be the last question, and then we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. All right, because I want to keep this under an hour here. Gurgis G, his last question is, hey, isn't the white paper like 50 pages? It doesn't matter if it's 10 pages, 50 pages, or 1,000 pages, okay? Uh, if you want it, I mean, like I have to read it. Shaka has to read it in order to learn about it. LeonFood.com has to read it to learn about it. So it doesn't, I mean, if that's how long it takes for them to explain their idea and their concept and what they're doing, then that's how long it takes. You know, we cannot put a limitation on how somebody explains their project to the public. Now, I will say something about this, about most of the cryptocurrency white papers. Most of the cryptocurrency white papers, with the exception of the original Bitcoin white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto and the white paper by Vitalik Buterin when he first started the Ethereum project, most white papers are not real white papers, okay? A white paper, the purpose of a white paper is supposed to explain the math and the science behind the project that person is doing, okay? For example, if you guys want to compare the quality of the white papers of any cryptocurrency, just simply use the Bitcoin white paper by the original cryptocurrency creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, and you can compare the quality of it. If you'll notice in his Bitcoin white paper, Satoshi clearly, in a very short summary, explains what the problem is, and in a very short summary, he explains what the solution is, and then he explains the mathematical formulas or the computer code to make that solution work, okay? If most of the white papers that people claim they write, whether it's for Steem or for NXT or for any of these other ones, okay, most of them for Waves, for List, they are not, in my opinion, really white papers. They are actually what I call a gray paper, okay? The reason for that is because they actually do not go into the science of what it can, the computer code or the mathematics of what it's supposed to do. That way it can be audited and proven right or wrong by other computer scientists and other developers and programmers and cryptographers, right? The white paper for most of the cryptocurrency projects outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin are just a quick summary or a list of goals, okay? Or it should actually be a goal paper or an objective paper. It's not really a white paper because they don't explain, they don't put down the scientific data that can be verified, can be proven or unproven by other people, okay? So just when you guys read it, just be aware of that, okay? Any thoughts on that, Shaka?
Yeah, I definitely think you guys should take the time. The white paper is pretty lengthy, but you should definitely take the time to look into it as if you're into Steem, because people that aren't into Steem are looking into it and looking to it for flaws in the white paper. So if you're into it, you should definitely be looking into the white paper, break it down into sections or whatever, how long it takes you. But you should definitely look into it if you're going to invest in the Steem.
Okay, so just to wrap it up, guys, and I'll say this. When I read the white papers, I am not technically savvy enough, okay, to read the math and the computer code. Like, if I was capable of reading the Bitcoin white paper and understand the math and the code behind it, trust me, I would have came out with my own cryptocurrency a long time ago. I wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. I actually build a cryptocurrency myself. Okay, so most people that read these white papers, it's basically just a summary of their project. It's more of a project summary than it is a white paper. So when I read it, I prefer it that way. When I read when I look into any of these cryptocurrencies, guys, I just look at, okay, what is the real world problem that is currently existing and how are they providing a solution to fix it? That's what I'm looking at. And if it's a valid problem, like a lot of problems that people try to fix in the world, it's not a real problem. Okay, so that's one problem. That fix is a real problem in the world. And then the second one is the solution that they provide to fix that problem. Is that a realistic and viable solution? If it is, then I'll do it. But if it's not, if it sounds like it's bogus, right? So for example, I'll give you guys an example of a real scam and a real Ponzi scheme, like OneCoin, okay? When you look at OneCoin, what is the problem that they are trying to solve out in the world? There is none. And what is the solution they're providing? The solution they're providing is that you invest into their coin. Why is there a need to invest into their coin? They're not solving any real world problems, okay? Whereas Steem It is actually solving a real world problem. The problem is that the content creators out in the world are not getting paid for their content. The payment is going to the advertisers, the people that broker the advertising, not the advertising brokers. They're not going to the actual content creators and the people who review the content to make sure that it's good or bad content. So Steem It is the first platform to reward the content creators directly, and it rewards the curators of that content correctly, and it also eliminates a really nasty problem we have on the internet, that is trolling. If you try to troll somebody on Steem It, you don't make any money. You're wasting all your time and not making any money, and it's going to downvote you, and you lose credibility. And the more that people downvote you on Steem It, the more you just don't show up. It's not that you lose money, you just don't make money, and nobody sees you. So if you're a troll, Steem It is an anti-trolling social network, and that is a serious, serious problem out on the internet. So that's the reason why I invested into it, and Leon invested into it. Any last words, Shaka, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, with the whole anti-trolling, that's one of the reasons that I mean, people love Reddit because it's really trolly, and I think it needs a space where that is not so trolly, and the addition of payments, and Steem It first to the party. So bravo to them.
Yeah, and Richie Rich is correct. My Indian driver's name is, first name is Indian, last name is Driver. Okay. What Taforka asks, is there a length limitation to your content? My book is big. What does that mean? I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, the limit on my content is up to me. The limit on your book is up to you. So I'm not sure what you're asking there. But all right, guys. So I want to say thanks to Shaka Daniel. And I'm going to wrap up this session here about the difference between Steem Power, and as I get more information, guys, we'll update it some more. If I get any information wrong, if I figure out that it was wrong, I'll update it in a future video. So I want to say thanks to Shaka for joining us here from New York. I'm broadcasting from Buckhead in Atlanta. And hey, you want to turn your video back on, Shaka? I don't know why, but it keeps cutting off. Go and check out Chase That Coins YouTube section, and I'll post it in the description as well. And make sure that you guys subscribe to his channel and get his perspective and his view on cryptocurrency investing. And also check out his Steem It blog, and make sure you guys upvote the stuff that he talks about, and downvote if you don't like it. Downvote my stuff if you don't like it. Let me know.
Yes, definitely. You guys are definitely open to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on my YouTube videos, and upvote or downvote me on Steem. I'm open to all that. All that's good. Thank you for having me, Ty. Until next time.
Oh yeah. What is your Twitter handle too, so that they can follow you?
My Twitter handle is at Chase That Coin.
Yeah, it's spelled just like you hear it, guys. Chase That Coin.
ChaseThatCoin. Chase That Coin.
Okay, so let me put it here in the comment here. Chase That Coin.
Ty said that he had a little problem finding my channel on YouTube. On YouTube, it's Chase, CHASE space That Coin is one word, THATCOIN. So Chase space That Coin.
Okay. All right. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in a future video.
All right.